Okay, I'll start. We're obviously a lot of change around here. It's probably when you're looking over the summer at all of it, it's probably kind of daunting at times. And then now that we're in it, it's turning in not probably it's turning into one of our most enjoyable falls up to this point. So we're learning a lot about this team, highly talented. Got some key returners back. We've got a lot of new faces. Got a new pitching coach. We've got a couple of really important new staff members here that played crucial roles in our first 8 years of our success and successes. And so it's great to have them back here. And we are really excited to get the fall season started, just to see kind of how this puzzle is going to fit together. So I'll just leave it at that.
You mentioned all the change with how successful you guys have been. Is that a little scary that so much has seemingly changed during this year?
Yeah, I'm actually a person that likes change. Okay. But this much has been more than I've really kind of wanted to think through. Like, I think you think about, okay, we're in our 9th year, and you're like, you kind of want things to just kind of roll through, and I don't really think that's how the best people have done it. I think they've had to endure change. They've had to endure things. They've had to self-eval, and we've always tried to do that here, even when it's hard. So we've done all that. We've self-evaled of where we're at and things we need to get better at. So we're tackling those things. We're introducing new staff to our team, where they probably had some comfort, so they're a little bit uncomfy to start with. I think we're probably through that now. And then just a lot of young kids, and a lot of kids that haven't played at this level yet, but are certainly cut out of the right cloth. So we feel good about that.
Seems like every year you bring in more new players than the year before. And this year with 8 or 9 new freshmen, how does that change your approach to fall this year?
A lot of teaching. I think it's caused us to actually go back through all of our systems and kind of go through and see if we need to keep them the same. It was a good time for some growth and change, because there's so many new people. You're not changing it on a bunch of them, right? You're just introducing something new. So we've done that. But next year we won't have the amount of new people, or at least it's not in the plan. I don't think it's probably safe to say that in this day and age. But next year we've only got 2 commits in the 24 group. So are we going to add a transfer to? Probably, if we can, if they're the right fit. But we're not going to be adding like 9 or 10 people like we've done the last couple of years. So we'll kind of get back. I'm hoping on a normal track once this summer comes. So, but we'll see. I mean, weird things can happen, and all that. But there is some new, just as like we talked about, just like the new players, we have some new staff. So it's trying to get them up to par and not up to par, but up to speed on all that.
Katie got coming out of high school. What have you seen from her, I guess, so far into the program?
Yeah, I mean, tremendous worker. Maybe the most. I don't know that I've been around an athlete like this yet, just because of all of her things outside of here. That she's not doing that now. The bodybuilding stuff. If you've seen any of her social media stuff, it's pretty impressive. So she obviously can't do that while she's trying to play and compete here. But her dedication to the way she eats and sleeps and studies is maybe as elite as I've ever seen out of any person I've ever coached. So that's there, so that that there's a will and a drive to be great. So she's had some really good moments. She's had some moments that she probably like to forget about. But that's how it is here. Like, it's just competitive and tough, and I wouldn't expect anything else. But she's got a chance to be really, really good here.
You mentioned the coaching staff. Does that change the dynamic and lead to some of these things you talk about, like evaluating your systems and all those sorts of things too?
Yeah, I think the one thing that we have some youth. on our staff. You know, like losing John, we lost some, you know, some of his years of experience. But when you bring in youth, you bring in a different sort of energy that is willing to like bust some walls down instead of just doing the same old thing. They're willing to kind of say, hey, let's look at this. Like, you know, I've been looking at this, reading into this, or studying up on, you know, new technologies and things like that. That's an area that we really wanted to improve on, was technology, analytics, and we've done that. And so, you know, the staff part of it, just, it's been really good up to this point. I really like what we've got. I think it's a staff that can be together for a long time. And so when you have those things, good things can really happen. I'm not sure if I answered that the way you wanted that.
Good enough, but I have
Okay.
another one.
Okay.
Is the male-female dynamic in softball coaching overplayed? Does that change how you feel around here?
I walk in here, it's a different dynamic. I like it. They bully me a lot more than without another guy here, so I'm the victim for the most part. But I'll be honest, like, I really love what's going on here. I love this staff. I think it'd be easy to say because some of these women played for me and for this staff, for a couple of us. So there's a different spot in my heart. But they're still in the game, which means that they want to be in this game at this point. And so we've got somebody like a Maddie Sue Montgomery. Well, it's not Maddie Sue Montgomery anymore, but Maddie Sue's back, and she's in a completely different role in the video analytical full-time role. But I mean, when we're sitting in here and we're talking about softball, like, it's another coach. So so the whole, I think it is probably a little bit overplayed. I look at the best team in the country; they have one guy on staff. So I think it's about having the right people, and I think we have the absolute right people here that are committed to waking up and going to bed each night thinking about how we can get better here.
Kenny, what's kind of the story about getting Carrie back here? How'd you pull that off?
Well, I mean, I knew like right away when John retired. I knew right away that Carrie had to be in that mix. The truth is, I was hoping that John would be here for one more year, so let her have one more year to grow outside of here at Lipscomb, which she was really enjoying. We had talked during the season a few times. I checked up on her with her college coach once or twice, I recommended her. I had a long talk with her, the Lipscomb coach, then about her. I don't think I had to go out on a limb, but I wanted her to get that job. Selfishly, I was thinking back then, well, I know John doesn't have a lot of time left. I didn't know what the number was, but I knew that we're going to have a change at some point. So Carrie's brain is special. Her skill is special. She has the right demeanor. Her brain works in ways that she can remember how she got people out, which is a huge deal in this. This is as much pitch calling as it is pitching. Okay, you have to be able to pitch call, and then if you've been in that circle in the biggest stages or in the pro game, you really have to understand how to pitch and how to call a game and how to execute. So I knew she was somebody that would be on our list. I had a couple others that I wanted to talk to. But once I kind of got in the first week, she was my target. I had to massage everything because I knew that bringing her back may in fact do what happened, and that's losing Kelly. That's really, in the end, that's probably why that happened. And so I knew that there was a possibility there, but it was worth taking that risk. Because somebody said to me, you need to think about being long-term greedy And that's what I felt like is Carrie was here for the long term. And I didn't want to lose one player, especially a player like her, but I didn't want to make a decision for our long-term future that I didn't want to let the short term dictate that. So Carrie, every time I talked to her, once I had called her and told her that we had a job open, the talks were probably better than I could have hoped, than I would have expected. I tried to ask her a lot of hard things, how she would handle things, like Kelly, like Lexi, like these returners back, like how we're gonna handle this, your age, your this or that. And she just was just Carrie. It was just steady, you know what I mean? So it became apparent to me very quickly that she was the target.
Speaking of the change you guys have experienced, especially over the past few months, how do you think that's affected team morale, and are they using that to better motivate themselves this coming season?
As far as the benefit, you'd have to ask them. I will tell you that the morale in this building is off the charts. And that's not a knock to anything that's happened. I think what's happened is you just have, like, there's very few jobs on that field that are in pencil or pen, like maybe like 2 or 3. Okay, like there's just not. And so they walk in these doors each day and you better compete. And so the morale is good. We haven't put up a lineup yet. That happens on Saturday. So we'll see what the process, the morale looks like that day, you know what I mean? But that'll be like the whole truth, and the whole thing is like, okay, here's where we are today. That can change. We'll have to have that talk. Look, I think we were at a place in our time here where, it's like I told you, as much as I didn't want to go through that change, it was probably good. And it's, I don't, it's just is what it is. And you have to take what comes your way and make things happen. I'm a half full guy, so I've kept my glass very half full around these guys. And we've talked about the cowgirl way a lot, what that means and what that represents. And we got that in stone this last year. And so I feel really good about them. They, I get 90% of that. There's probably 10% that I really don't know, but I'm hearing good things. I'm feeling good things. It makes me feel very good about all that. So that's a positive sign.
And then what are you looking forward to most this Sunday when you guys play Wichita State?
Yeah, I hadn't even thought about Wichita State yet. We've got Central Arkansas first, who's a very formidable opponent, and we're going there, so that'll be new and unique for a lot of our kids. They're both going to be really good for us, to see exactly where we stand. And right now, we really don't know. We have a lot of unknowns. I don't really have much about either of them. I'm more worried about us, to be very honest.
And on a personal note, how does it make you feel knowing that when players leave here, you make a mark on them somehow? That they feel safe enough to maybe come back?
Yeah. That's why you coach. Really, in the end, like we got into coaching because we want to make a difference in these young kids' lives, right? And so it makes me feel really cool to have Vanessa, Carrie, Maddie Sue, Rachel Becker's back, Shy's back. I think that's probably, hopefully, says enough that I don't have to say a whole bunch about that.
Scotland's coming back again from another injury. I doubt it surprises you at all, but to have her out here, and did you have any sort of conversation about long-term health, or are you just like, Scotland, go get it? What does it mean to have her trying to come back again?
I've always had the conversations about her long-term health. So her and her family can make those calls. I'm good either way. If she wants to go for it, I'm all in. If she'd have said to me, "Hey, I'm going to hang it up," I'd have been all in on that too. So she shows up here each day to start. She's doing the work. She's working her tail off to get better. And like I told her, just let it go. Like there's no need to play timid, defensive, anything. If something's gonna happen, it's gonna happen, and we'll deal with it then. And you know, she's acting like a leader, which is a big deal, and it's good to have her back. I mean, we only have like 3 kids who have been here more than 2 years, and that's weird. That is really weird. So, and that's new for us. So it's kind of a breath of fresh air too, to be very honest. It's kind of nice. So, in a weird way. So it's been going good, and she's been doing well, and she's playing well.
You've talked about the talent that she has. One of the most talented kids ever that you've coached. What type of player could she be this year if it all goes well, injury-wise?
I don't know. I mean, because it's just been so long since she's been able to be on the field for a complete like semester. You know what I mean? And not even a year, just a semester. So she's got she can run, she can hit for power. She's an above-average defender. She's an above-average arm. So if all that plays out, then she has a chance to be really good.
With all the newcomers and all the changes going on, who are some of those newcomers do you think that the fan base is going to get to know pretty quick?
Oh, Jillian Pollard at third. She's going to be fun for our fan base to watch. Right now she's playing third. She can play outfield. She can maybe play a little second base. She's just a kid that plays with her hair on fire for sure. Left-handed bat. It's got power. It's got short game. She's not a crazy great runner, but she's not average either. But she plays at a different speed when she's playing. She plays very fast. So she's one that I would really keep your eyes on. Tia Warsop is a freshman outfielder that's going to challenge Gina to play. She'll be one of the fastest kids I've ever coached. There's another one of those freshmen in Taylor Anderson. She's the fastest player I've ever coached. That's something that we have not had here in a long time, is that type of speed. So those two are like creating some havoc around practice right now. They're both, Tia would be an above average defender. Taylor's getting there better than I could have probably thought, but still a little ways to go. The former Caroline Hudson is now Caroline Wong. She got married over the summertime. She's our transfer from Liberty. She's got some juice in her bat. So she's going to be, I would think, a middle of the order type hitter. Maybe the biggest, like right now, Carly Godwin is going to start day one. On this weekend as a hitter. Probably our DP. She's making some noise at third. Could probably play first if we need her there. Mick's playing great at first, so there's no need to have her there at that point. But Carly can hit. I would say she's going to be in the middle of our order this weekend, maybe as high as 3 or 4. So there's just something about this kid that's special. Pretty quiet. When you get to talk to her, you'll love her. The accent from North Carolina is wild. And we have with Bloodworth than her, if they had a podcast, people would just listen because of the way that they talk. It'd be great. So it's just fun. They're just so much fun, and our girls just have a lot of fun with those guys. And then Katie Coots has been really strong to start with. She's been good, so that'll add the depth, to that staff.
Tia has a much different accent than those girls. What was their recruiting process with her coming from England and playing with the national team there?
Well, Tia can turn it on and off, you know what I mean? So she can, if you want to hear that accent, she can have it. And if you want her to sound Americanized, she can sound just like that too. You never know. But she's just a fun kid. It's really cool to see these guys, see them struggle. She struggled at first, like she was having a really tough time just getting adjusted to us and everything. And her and I, we've started going on some nutrition dates. At lunchtime, we'll head over to Sonder and we get us a shake or a tea and we talk. And it's been really cool for me and her, to be very honest. It's kind of helped her just kind of settle in. And it's been cool. So she's just a cool kid. cool kid and really fast.
You mentioned maybe two or three spots that are penciled in right now in terms of your lineup. Is that the biggest sign of the changes that y'all are going?
Yeah. Well, it's just weird. It's weird not looking out there seeing Factor, Naomi, Tuck, being in that, Kelly. I mean, those are like staples here, right? For a lot of years. I mean, those kids went to 4 World Series. Just doesn't happen except down the road currently. So like it's crazy, and the worst part about it is they're right up the middle of the dang field. You know what I mean? Which is obviously, as we all know, the most important spot. But it's kind of like been a very good refresher for all of us to be able to. I mean, we're really coaching. We haven't coached this much in a long time, so it feels awesome. Like I cannot wait for practice. I've always been that guy. The last couple years, I could not wait for games because they were bored with that. You know what I mean? They wanted to play, and so I need to get better at that, and it's something I've tried to get better at, just to make every day count. And so it's just weird. It's just weird, but it's awesome because the competition is so great. Like when I'm talking, I feel every eyeball. Like I haven't felt that the last couple of years because a lot of those girls are like, yeah, let's go, like let's play, right? And so right now I've got their attention. Our staff has their attention, and it's just been very healthy and very fun to watch them grow. The first week we're out here, I was like, oh my God, we got a long way to go. And we still have a long way to go, but I'm starting, like I told our team last night, I'm starting to have a lot of fun. I'm starting to like cannot wait to get out here because we've got some youth, and they're just running around with their hair on fire. They're leaving no doubt in their effort and all that kind of stuff.
Kenny, what have you seen from Lexi this offseason?
Yeah, healthy, and not even really thinking about her health. You know what I mean? She's impressive, and I've been talking to her over this summer about the new pitching coach and everything we're gonna need out of her, and she's just been doing it. She's just been great. I've just been very happy with the way she's immersed herself in a leadership type role, and she may not be the loudest one, but our kids know when she's out there. If she talks, you better be paying attention. And in the same sense, if you need her, she's willing to talk to anyone and help them kind of through any kind of struggles that they're having. So she's off to a great start.
I know we're still 5 months away from games coming, but do you have any idea what Katie's role might be in the pitching staff?
I don't. I mean, we have 2 like really good returners back. You know what I mean? They are proven, in Kyra and Lexi. I mean, maybe the biggest surprise at this point we haven't really talked about has been Ivy. Ivy has like she has like lights out stuff, but has had a hard time like throwing it over the plate instead of on the corners. And so Carrie and her have just been grinding on that. She's had some really good outings, done some really great things. Yesterday put herself in a tough spot with some walks, and I was like, couldn't wait to see her next inning to see if she fell apart or if she was able to regroup, and she regroups. I can just see the way she's walking. There's a different walk. Like people ask me all the time, when you recruit, like, what do you look for? Well, if they don't have the walk, like, probably don't have it. Like, those kids just walk a different way. So I'm starting to see this different confidence in her as well. So her and Katie are fighting it out for the, that third spot. It doesn't mean they couldn't be 2 or 1, but right now you'd have to say that Kyra and Lexi have been a little bit more consistent and have a little bit more in my bank account, just because of what they've been through in the games that they pitched here.
Vanessa is in a position that didn't even exist a few months ago. How does her role change?
Well, it's just now full time, you know what I mean? She's been doing it for a long time, and we've been raising that money, so that's been awesome. She's special. She's our recruiting coordinator as well. We put that on her. and we're recruiting as good as we ever have. We're more organized. We're getting people up in the up top in administration, in the graphic design stuff, and the doing things differently than we ever have, because she's asking and she's pushing, and so she's just she's driven. You know, she's going to be a head coach. She's turning down opportunities left and right. Turned down a head coaching opportunity about 2 weeks ago at a Division I school as the head coach at her age. I think tells you what people outside of her think. My job is to keep her here as long as I can, and hopefully it's forever. But I gotta take care of her, and that goes for everyone in there. I gotta take care of all of them. So it's cool. I'm thankful that Chad and our administration approved those spots to get paid, because not every school did. We didn't just approve it. We were at a level that most schools aren't, which is great. It tells you the commitment for softball here, and it's just cool to see. So I'm thankful.
Can you see where Kelly went? Did it hurt you at all, personally?
We got to go here again. Yeah. I mean, it hurt. I mean, because I just, like I said, I got absolutely demolished. I was Twitter famous for 2 or 3 days with OU fans that were upset with an excerpt of what they read. Probably disappointed that it came from our paper here. That was probably the worst thing, you know what I mean? Because I don't think it was done. I don't think it was done out of harm, but it was tough to have to manage that. But to be clear, what I said was that I felt like the only place that she could go and lose her legacy here would be OU. I'm not mad at her. She gave us everything. I put that statement out, like I wrote that. I didn't ask Gavin to write it. I wrote that on vacation. I wrote that initial deal. So when I was at our deal, I met I'm not stepping back from what I said. I wish I wouldn't have said as long as I'm the head coach here, because that sounded very selfish and about me. But what I meant by that, and I'll explain it one more time, is I just think it'll be very hard for her to come back here as long as I'm the coach here. It's just she has a heart, a big heart. So you're gonna feel weird ever wanting to come back here, if that makes sense. I think that's the normal, a normal feeling that we would go through. But her transferring, I get it. I totally understand. I knew it could happen. I could have probably asked her, hey, who do you want me to hire? And if I'd have hired them, she would have stayed. But I don't know that she's in a position to tell me that. She's still a young kid, right? So I'm gonna do what I think's best, even if it meant her deciding to do a leave. I wish she would have gone somewhere else. I mean, we're trying to beat those guys, and now we got to face her. That sucks. But I'm not cheering against her. I don't wish her 1 ounce of harm. I don't wish any of that. But it's different now. And that's the only thing. If she was at a different school, it would have been weird, but maybe not different. And so I just, I wish I didn't have to go through all that. That was hard. It's one of the hardest things I've gone through here, to be very honest. People would be amazed. It's funny how many people want to throw shade. And people would be amazed if they saw the list of OU people that did text me that said, hey, what you said is exactly how a lot of people feel. Even though we may be glad that we got her here, you're right on. And that list would blow people's mind. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of OU people on that list. I would never put that out there. obviously, but it's crazy. So, and again, it's just life. It's where we're going. It's not going to change. It's going to happen again. I've been very frank. We've benefited out of the portal. You know what I mean? And as long as it's here, we're going to try to continue that. If it goes away, I'm all for it. Whatever the rules are, I'm all for it. But we're going to play by those rules. And she played by by those rules. She was honest and upfront. I have zero issues. And so I knew that people, as soon as John was out, there were people trying to poach. I'm very aware of who those people are. Kelly was very honest up front, because at that time I don't think she was even sure that she wanted to leave. So what comes around will go around, and we'll just handle it just like that.
I think we'll call